Now let's take a look at the different functions that you can find on this test set. The first one is the view limits function. View limits will let you see, when you push on 1, all of the different limits that the tester can achieve as far as the flight envelope of the aircraft is concerned. Number 1 will give you the max airspeed, currently at 690. Number 2 will give you the minimum airspeed, currently set at -50. Number 3 will give you the max rate of airspeed, currently at 300 knots per minute. Number 4 will give you the max Mach, currently set at 1. Number 5 will give you the max feet, currently set at 60,000. Number 6 will give you the minimum feet, currently set at -2,000. Number 7 will give you the max feet per minute, currently set at 6,000 feet per minute. And the number 8 will give you the max DFIN, currently set at 3. And we will change that back to 2.5. Another comment I have on the minimum knots, I get the question sometimes, isn't it better to set it at 0? The answer is no, because if you set your airspeed exactly at 0, whenever you increase your PS1, you may get a little bit of instability on the PT. If it goes beyond 0, even by 0.1 knot, the generation will be interrupted and you will get an error number. So to avoid this interruption, you set a reasonable margin of error of -50 knots that most of the instruments on the aircraft can now take nowadays, and that will be perfectly sufficient. If you really feel like -50 is too much for the instruments that you are testing, you can set it back down to -20 or -10, but try to avoid putting it at 0 or you will get often redundant errors of PT going over the limit. In function 2, you will be able to modify those limits if they were not correct. We said that we wanted to change the max differential pressure, number 8, so we're going to push here on modify limits and get in the main menu here. To change number 8 max DFIN, I'm going to push 8 and enter my new differential pressure. The maximum differential pressure you can enter is between 1 and 30. I will push 2.5 and click enter to confirm. Now my new differential pressure maximum is 2.5, which means that PS2 will not be able to exceed plus 2.5 inches against PS1 or negative 2.5 inches against PS1. If I attempt to go over those limits, or if I make a mistake while inputting the values that I want to enter, I will get an error message of that sort. If I change my PS1 altitude, for example, it's currently set at a maximum of 60,000 feet. If I enter 61,000 feet, I will get a PS1 target exceeds limit and will not allow me to enter that value. Function 3 will take care of the brightness for that display over there. If you're doing operations outside of the hangar, the wired remote display actually had a very bright LCD display that is sunlight readable. So if you're having difficulty doing the check outside the aircraft with an iPad, you can use the wired remote for more convenience. As far as the iPad, the brightness will be changeable here if you have iOS 12 or more. Profile number 4 will be to run the profiles. So this tester can have up to 10 profiles loaded, and each profile can have up to 50 steps. So let's see how that runs. Push on number 4 and I will be prompted to enter profile number and point. So the way it works is, if I want to enter the profile number 5 and step number 12, for example, I will put 5, I will put a dot here, and then enter 12 here. And that will make me enter the step 12 of profile 5. So as you can see, all of the targets have now been populated with the step number 12 of profile 5, and now I can run my check. Usually you would start from step number 1, so let's go back and start maybe 5.1, and that will be the first step of my 5th profile. I click enter to confirm. Whenever I'm ready, as you can see it's blinking, whenever I'm ready I can click on go and the test set will go to that target. Whenever the tester reaches the target for step number 1 of profile 5, I can use the up arrow to go to step number 2 and click on go. And the new targets have been populated and the tester is now going to the next step. I can keep going on like this by pushing the up arrow. That will send me to the third 5.3, up arrow 5.4, etc., and click on go every time to reach the next step of my profile. If I'm not sure of a step that I've made and I want to redo it or come back to it, I can also use the down arrow to go back to the previous step. So it is very easy to navigate between steps of one given profile. Note that there is no way to consult the name of all of the profiles, and I would advise to install a little table in the lid of your test set to get a reference of where all of the profiles are located. Function 5 would be the load profile function. Whenever you are downloading a profile from your computer to the box, you will need to enter this mode. So you will push here on 5, and that will set the box in downloading mode for new profiles coming from your computer. When you are done downloading profiles from your computer, you can click on Go to come back to the main menu. Function 6 is going to be your height correction. When you enter this menu, you'll be able to compensate for the difference of altitude between the air data computers that you are testing and where the tester is located. Sometimes the test set will be low on the ground and your aircraft may have a very high clearance, up to 15-20 feet in some cases if you're doing large aircraft such as the Embraer E-Jet or Boeing 747 or 777. So to compensate for that difference of altitude, you will enter a value here to make the tester believe that it is indeed at the same level as the instrument that it is testing. So let's say for us, for example, 15 feet. I will enter 15 here, press enter. It will tell me new height correction is now 15 feet, and 15 feet have been added to PS1 channel. My tester now thinks it's at the exact same level as the aircraft it is testing. It can be important because of the new RVSM regulation that put very tight limits on the tolerances for altitude. To confirm, I would click on Go. To cancel, I click on Cancel. I will confirm. Function 7 would be the leak timers that we saw earlier during the leak check. When I push on this, I will be prompted to change all 3 of my leak timers if I'd like to. Currently, those leak timers are set to 1, 5, and 10 minutes. So it's very simple. If I want to change my leak timer number 2, for example, I push on 2 and select the number of minutes at which I want my new leak check to be done. For example, 3 minutes. To confirm, I press enter. From now on, when I'm doing a leak check, the 3 values will show up and I will get the results of my leak at 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 10 minutes. I can do from 1 to 20 minutes, and of course, each value for the next leak timer has to be higher than the previous value. Calibration will be the menu to calibrate your unit. If you would like to have more information about calibrating your own test sets, please get in touch with us and we'll be happy to give you more information about that. If you're doing a check on analog instruments, including an encoder that happens to transmit gray code to the transponder, you may be checking this encoder by verifying that the gray code that it is transmitting to the transponder is the correct one according to the flight level at which your aircraft is. So to do that, you will input a flight level here. So I'm going to push 6 to change my target altitude here. Enter 4,000 feet. And the test set will immediately go to 4,000 and give me a flight level of 4,000 feet. So the flight level will be confirmed by the encoder if there is one connected.